Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. We're all about exploring fascinating topics, and today we're diving headfirst into the world of Vastu Shastra.
Ooh, Vastu Shastra. That's an ancient Indian system of architecture and design, right?
That's it. And you know what? We're not just going to skim the surface here.
We're going deep.
We are. We're going to figure out how to make our homes, our living spaces, way more peaceful and prosperous by using, guess what?
Let me guess. Some ancient secrets.
Excerpts from a podcast episode,
A podcast episode? You mean like a podcast episode about Vastu Shastra?
Exactly. It's called the Harmony Living Podcast, and they did a whole episode on Vastu Shastra.
Cool. So are we like going to spill all the tea on how to transform our living spaces with Vastu?
You got it. We're going to unlock these secrets together.
Right, I'm ready. Let's do this. So Vastu Shastra, it's not just about, decorating, right? It's something more.
Way more.
Like what?
It's about energy.
Yeah.
Aligning your home with these natural energies to, I guess you could say, attract positivity.
Okay, so we're talking energy, not just aesthetics.
That's the key.
But what does that actually mean, like aligning with energy? Can you give me an example?
So imagine, energy is a flowing river, right?
Okay, I can picture that.
And in Vastu, you're basically putting things in your home in specific spots to keep that energy flowing.
To keep it moving, not getting stuck.
Exactly. No dams allowed.
That's pretty cool.
It's like, feng shui.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of feng shui.
It's kind of like that, but Vastu has its own unique set of rules, you could say.
Its own flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
So how does this Vastu Shastra thing actually work?
Well, you start by understanding the 5 elements.
5 elements, like earth, wind, and fire.
Close. Earth, water, fire, air, and space. Each one has a specific energy, and it's connected to a direction in your home.
Whoa, okay. So like each part of my house has its own element.
In a way, yeah. So let's start with earth, the first element.
Earth, right, the ground beneath our feet.
Yeah. What does earth make you think of?
Stability, being grounded.
Exactly. And in Vastu, it's all about the southwest.
Southwest. Like the southwest corner of my house.
That's the one. So think about heavy things like mountains. That's the energy you want in the southwest.
Okay, got it. Heavy and stable energy in the southwest.
To boost that, you can use earthy colors.
Like browns and greens.
You got it. Or heavy furniture.
So it's about creating that sense of stability.
Nailed it. All right, next up is water. What do you think water represents?
Water, well, it flows, right?
It does.
So maybe it's about abundance, things moving smoothly.
You're good at this. Water's all about flow, abundance, and purification. And guess what? It's linked to the northeast.
Northeast, interesting.
Yeah, that direction is super sacred in Vastu. It's where all the positive energy flows in.
Like the entry point for good vibes.
You got it. So anything that represents water in the northeast is going to amplify that energy.
So like a fountain. Or even just a bowl of water.
Perfect examples. The northeast is also a great spot for meditation or prayer, anything for your inner self.
Oh, that's cool. So water for abundance and inner peace in the northeast. Got it.
Now let's move on to fire. I bet you can guess where this one goes in the house.
Fire.
The kitchen?
Yes. Southeast is all about fire energy. It represents transformation and passion, like cooking.
Transforming raw ingredients into a delicious meal.
See? You're getting it. So where should the stove be?
Southeast corner. Right.
Ideally, yes. And when you're cooking, face east.
East. Okay. Why east?
It aligns you with the rising sun, like starting the day with good energy.
Starting fresh. I like it. And what about colors?
Think fiery hues, reds and oranges.
Makes sense. Okay, fire in the southeast. Got it. What's next?
Air. What comes to mind when you think about air?
Movement. Openness.
You're on a roll. Air is about movement, communication, and even intellect, and it's all about the northwest.
Northwest, so lots of windows.
Absolutely. Windows, balconies, anything that lets the air flow freely. And plants. Plants clean the air.
Well, they do. They're like little air purifiers.
So a light and airy northwest corner helps with, clear thinking and good communication.
You got it. Okay, last but not least, we have space.
Space, huh? That's an interesting one. What's that all about?
Space is the most subtle element, but it's super important. It represents openness, expansion, and connection to, something bigger than ourselves.
Bigger than ourselves. I like that.
And the center of your home, called the Brahmastan, that's where space energy hangs out.
The center, huh? So what do we do with that space?
Keep it open, clutter-free as much as possible.
Like the heart of the home, open and free.
Exactly. It's where all that energy comes together.
Wow, okay. I'm starting to see how these elements create, like, an energy map of the house.
That's a great way to put it.
So what's the key takeaway here?
Balance. You want all 5 elements represented in your home working together in harmony.
Harmony. Got it.
If one's missing or too strong, it can throw things off.
Create some imbalance.
Yeah.
So too much fire energy. Did that make everyone argue more?
It could, and not enough earth energy might make you feel kind of, ungrounded.
Ah, I can see that. So Vastu is about understanding these energies and tweaking things to create a peaceful vibe.
You got it. It's like fine-tuning your home's energy.
I'm ready to fine-tune. Let's get specific.
All right, let's start with the main entrance. What's the first thing people see when they walk in?
The front door.
Yes. It's like the mouth of your home where energy enters.
So it should be, what, welcoming?
Exactly. Well lit, inviting, and no clutter.
No clutter by the door, check.
What else shouldn't be by the door?
I don't know, shoes?
Shoes are a big no-no. They block energy flow. And mirrors.
Wait, mirrors. Why not mirrors?
They reflect the energy back out.
Ah, so the good vibes bounce right back out the door.
You got it. Now let's move on to the living room. It's usually the heart of the home, right?
Yeah, where everyone hangs out.
So where should it be?
Somewhere with good energy.
The northeast or north. Those are the directions for positive energy and, connecting with people.
Ah, social vibes. What about colors?
Think calm and relaxing. Beige, light blue, green, those kinds of colors.
Got it. Peaceful colors.
And furniture arrangement.
Don't block the pathways, right? Keep things flowing.
Yes. And no sharp corners pointing at people.
Sharp corners are bad vibes.
They can be. All right, time for the bedroom.
Ah, the bedroom, the place to relax.
It's all about rest and rejuvenation.
So where's the best place for the bedroom?
Southwest is the ideal spot.
Southwest. Why southwest?
It's the direction for restful sleep and strong relationships.
Interesting. And where should I put my bed?
Position it so your head faces east or south.
East or south, okay.
East aligns you with the rising sun.
Like a fresh start every morning.
Exactly. And south aligns you with the Earth's magnetic field.
So good for sleep.
Deep sleep, yeah. And no electronics or mirrors opposite the bed.
Wait, mirrors again? Why not mirrors?
Mirrors reflect energy, which can keep you up at night, and electronics emit those electromagnetic fields.
Oh, right. Those can mess with your sleep.
They can. Okay, we've done the entrance, living room, bedroom,
What's next?
the kitchen. We talked about fire energy before.
Right, the southeast corner.
Remember when you're cooking? Face east.
East for good energy. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other kitchen tips?
Northwest is a good spot to store grains.
Northwest for grains. Okay. What about the bathroom?
Northwest or west are the best directions for the bathroom.
Okay, makes sense. Anything else?
Keep the toilet seat closed.
Wait, really? Why?
It's about keeping the good energy from going down the drain.
Oh, that makes sense. Don't want to flush away the good vibes.
Exactly. And good ventilation is important too.
To keep the energy from getting stagnant.
Now, what about a home office? So many people work from home these days.
Home office, yeah, that's important.
North or east are the best directions for a home office.
And which way should I face when I'm working?
East or north?
To get in the flow of productivity.
Exactly. Keep your desk clean and clutter-free.
No clutter, check. Anything else?
Get a chair with a solid back.
Solid back, got it. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this Vastu stuff.
Me too. We've covered a lot of ground, but you know what? I'm curious about something.
What's that?
Does Vastu Shastra have anything to say about attracting wealth and success? Like, are there specific tips for that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Vastu recognizes how important abundance is in all areas of life, and it's got some guidelines for attracting wealth and prosperity.
Okay, tell me everything. How do we invite that abundance in?
Well, the north direction is key here. It's all about wealth and opportunities.
The north. Okay.
Putting a water feature in the north is said to attract abundance, like a fountain or an aquarium.
I love fountains. The sound of running water is so soothing.
Right. It symbolizes the constant flow of wealth and prosperity. You could also put a money plant in a green pot in that area.
Water, plants, sounds good. Anything else?
Keeping that area clean and clutter-free is super important. Clutter blocks the flow.
Got it. No clutter in the north. What else can we do to bring in more prosperity?
Having a dedicated sacred space is really powerful.
A sacred space? What's that?
It could be an altar, a meditation corner, or just a place where you put things that inspire you and bring you peace.
Like a little haven for good vibes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ideally, that space should be in the northeast. You can light a daya or some incense there regularly.
I love that idea. A peaceful space to recharge.
And speaking of keeping the energy flowing, Don't underestimate the importance of cleanliness in your entire home.
Clean and organized. Got it. What about mirrors? Do they play a role in attracting wealth?
They do. Mirrors can amplify energy, so placing them in the north or east can be beneficial, but remember, no mirrors opposite the bed.
Right. We learned that one already. So much to remember. We've talked about the 5 elements, tips for every room in the house. It's amazing. But I'm also curious about the things we might be doing wrong.
Wrong. Like Vastu mistakes.
Yeah. Are there common things people do that could be blocking the good energy?
Oh yeah, totally. It's easy to miss those little things that can throw off the energy flow.
Like what?
Broken clocks or gadgets, for example. They represent stagnant energy, so it's best to fix them or get rid of them.
Ah, I have a drawer full of broken things. I always think I'll fix them someday.
We all do. But clutter is probably the biggest culprit. It just blocks everything, so regular decluttering is key.
Especially in the corners and under furniture. I
Right.
know it. And remember those sharp corners pointing at seating areas? Avoid those too.
Rounded edges, good vibes.
Exactly. Oh, and one more thing. Don't keep empty vessels in your home. They symbolize lack, so fill them with water or grains.
Wow, never thought of that.
It's all about those little details. What about staircases? Any Vastu rules for those?
Yes, they shouldn't be in the center of the house because that's the Brahmastan, remember?
The heart of the home, right?
And avoid stairs in the northeast because it can mess with your finances.
So many things to consider. But it's so fascinating. I feel like I'm seeing my house in a whole new light now. Me too. It's amazing what a difference understanding energy can make.
It's like Fastu gives you this whole new awareness of your space and how it affects you.
Exactly. It's not about strict rules. It's more about working with your home to create a balanced and positive environment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Working with your home, not against it. It takes the pressure off. But what I really appreciate about Vastu Shastra is that it acknowledges the connection between our inner and outer worlds.
It's not just about the stuff in your house. It's about how your space makes you feel.
Exactly. It's about creating a home that supports your well-being on every level.
You know what? We've covered so much in this first part of our deep dive. Maybe we should take a break here and come back in part 2 to explore even more about this amazing world of Vastu Shastra.
I'm game for that. There's still so much to discover.
I know, right? This is just the beginning. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. I hope you're ready for more Vastu Shastra because we're diving right back in.
Let's do it.
You know, after part 1, I bet you're thinking about all the things in your house you want to change.
Probably. It gets you thinking, doesn't it?
It totally does. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, I wanted to talk about some of the concerns people might have about Vastu Shastra.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Whenever we're dealing with ancient stuff like this, it's normal to have some questions.
Exactly. Some people might wonder if it really works, if it can really change their lives.
Right.
And others might be thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Especially if I rent or can't make huge changes.
Totally understandable. I get that.
So what do you say to those folks?
Well, first off, even little changes can make a difference.
You don't have to go all out.
Nope. You don't have to renovate your entire home to benefit from Vastu. It's more about working with what you've got, making smart choices that help the energy flow better.
Okay, so baby steps.
Exactly.
I think it's important to remember that Vastu isn't about, super strict rules, right? It's about creating a home that feels good, a home that supports you.
Absolutely. It's about harmony and well-being, not about stressing over every little detail.
So for someone who's overwhelmed but wants to try it, where do they start?
Decluttering. That's always a fantastic first step.
Decluttering, always a good idea.
It's amazing how much lighter and more spacious a room feels when you just get rid of stuff you don't need.
It's true. It's like you're clearing out the cobwebs, not just physically, but energetically, too.
Right. You're making space for something new.
Love that. So where should people focus their decluttering efforts?
Well, the usual suspects. Corners tend to accumulate clutter. Under furniture, those junk drawers we all have.
Oh, the junk drawer. Don't get me started.
We all have one.
But, it's not just about physical clutter, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. Mental clutter is a huge thing, too.
Does Vastu address that as well?
Absolutely. Vastu is a holistic system, which means it takes into account our inner world and our outer world.
So mental clarity, peace of mind, those are important, too.
Absolutely. Having a peaceful mind is a big part of creating a harmonious home.
Okay, but how do we actually declutter our minds? Are there specific Vastu techniques for that?
Creating a dedicated space for meditation or spiritual practice can be super helpful.
Oh, like a meditation corner.
Exactly. Doesn't have to be fancy, just a little spot where you can escape the everyday chaos and connect with yourself, find some stillness.
I love that. Even just a cozy chair and a blanket, a little haven.
Yes. A sanctuary within your home.
It's like creating a space to nourish your soul.
Exactly.
Okay, so decluttering, both physical and mental, is a great starting point. What other simple but effective things can people do to bring more Vastu into their lives?
Pay attention to colors. Remember how we talked about each direction having specific elements and colors associated with it?
Right, like earthy tones in the southwest for grounding.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of natural light.
Sunshine.
Open your curtains, let the light in, and add some plants. They clean the air and bring in a bit of nature.
I love that. Natural light and greenery always makes such a difference.
They really do. They make a space feel so much more alive and vibrant.
In the last part, we talked about that person who said they felt more focused and productive after applying Vastu to their workspace.
Right. Their success story.
Do you have any other examples of how Vastu has really helped people?
Oh, tons. I've heard so many stories of people experiencing positive changes after bringing Vastu into their homes.
Like what kind of changes?
Well, people say they feel more peaceful, more balanced, their relationships improve. Some even say they've attracted more abundance and prosperity.
Wow. So it's not just about the house itself, it's about all areas of life.
Exactly. It's like this ancient wisdom that's still relevant today.
It's like tapping into something bigger than ourselves, something that's been around for centuries.
It really is. And it's not just anecdotal evidence either. There's actually a growing body of research that supports the positive effects of Vastu Shastra.
Wait, really? There's research on this?
Yeah. Studies have shown that living in a Vastu-compliant home can reduce stress levels, improve sleep quality, and even boost cognitive function.
That's amazing. So it's not just about feeling good, there's actual science backing it up.
Exactly. And as more research comes out and more people experience the benefits firsthand, the interest in Vastu just keeps growing.
It's like this timeless wisdom that's making a comeback.
It is.
But, I bet some people are thinking that Vastu Shastra is only for people who follow Hinduism or have specific spiritual beliefs. Is that true?
Not at all. While Vastu originated in ancient India and is rooted in those traditions, it's really about harnessing the power of nature to create a harmonious environment. Anyone can benefit from that.
So it's not tied to any one religion or belief system?
Nope. It's for everyone. It's about creating a space that supports your well-being no matter who you are or what you believe.
I love that. It's inclusive. It's for everyone.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it.
Wait.
It's about finding what works for you and creating a space that truly feels like home.
So whether you're drawn to the spiritual side of things or just want a more balanced and peaceful home, Vastu has something to offer.
Absolutely. It's about creating a space that supports you on all levels.
I'm so glad we're doing this deep dive. I'm learning so much. I'm actually starting to see my own home in a whole new light.
I know, me too. It makes you look at everything differently.
I'm noticing things I never paid attention to before, like the placement of my bed, the colors I've used, even the way energy flows from one room to the next.
That's the first step, becoming aware. Once you start paying attention, you can start making those little shifts that can make a big difference.
It's like becoming an energy architect of your own home.
Exactly.
This is really exciting stuff. Are you ready to go even deeper into this fascinating world of Vastu Shastra?
I am. Let's do it.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Vastu Shastra.
Part 3. Can you believe how much we've already learned?
I know, right? It's been amazing.
It really has. But there's still so much more to explore.
That's what I'm excited about. In the last part, you mentioned these subtler aspects of Vastu that we haven't really touched on yet.
Right, those little nuances that make Vastu so fascinating.
So I'm ready to dive deeper.
Let's do it. So one of the key things to understand is that energy is constantly moving, flowing in and around our homes.
Okay, so it's not static.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And that flow can be affected by things like, which way your house faces.
A direction.
Yep, or the placement of your windows and doors, even the shape of your rooms.
It's like everything plays a part.
It really does.
Yeah.
Everything contributes to the overall energy of the space.
So are certain shapes better than others in Vastu, like for a house or a room?
Well, a square or rectangular shape is generally considered the most balanced and stable.
Makes sense. Those are the most common shapes anyway.
They are. But if you have a room with an irregular shape, don't worry. There are Vastu principles that can help balance things out.
Okay, good to know. What about the direction the house faces? Is there an ideal direction?
Each direction has its own unique qualities and benefits. Like, a north-facing house is said to be good for wealth and prosperity.
North for wealth, okay.
while an east-facing house is more favorable for health and spiritual growth.
So it's not just about the inside of the house.
It's about how your home interacts with its surroundings, with the flow of energy from the outside.
That makes sense. Now, we've talked about the five elements, but you also mentioned this thing called prana before.
Ah, prana. That's the vital life force energy that's in everything, you know?
Right, I remember you saying it's like the essence of Vastu.
Exactly. Prana is what brings life to our spaces. It's what makes them feel vibrant and nourishing.
So Vastu is about maximizing the flow of prana.
You got it. It's about creating a space where prana can move freely and easily.
Okay, so it's not just about furniture and colors, it's about creating a space that's literally full of life.
You're getting it.
Yeah.
And this is where the five elements come back into play.
Right, because each element has its own energy.
Exactly. By balancing those energies, we create a harmonious environment where prana can thrive.
So it's like creating a symphony of energy where everything works together.
I love that analogy. And just like a symphony can be uplifting or calming, our homes can evoke different energies depending on how we use the five elements.
Think about how you feel when you're in a room full of natural light and fresh air.
Exactly. That's the feeling of prana flowing freely. It feels good, right?
It does. It makes you feel alive and energized.
Right. And when prana is blocked or stagnant, that's when we might feel sluggish, irritable, or even get sick more easily.
So how can we use this understanding of prana and the five elements to create a home that really nourishes our soul and supports our well-being?
It all starts with awareness. Pay attention to how you feel in different parts of your home, what colors make you feel good, what textures, what objects bring you a sense of peace or vitality.
It's like tuning into your intuition.
Exactly. And then you can start making small adjustments, using the principles of Vastu as a guide to enhance the flow of prana.
So what are some practical things we can do?
Well, ventilation is huge. Open those windows. Let the fresh air and sunshine in.
Fresh air and sunshine. Can't go wrong with those.
Right. And use natural materials whenever possible, like wood, bamboo, cotton, things like that, and create a sense of peace with soft lighting, calming colors, maybe some natural scents.
It's about creating a space that feels good to be in, a space that feels alive.
Exactly. And as you start paying attention, you'll begin to notice how different areas of your home affect you, your mood, your energy levels, even your relationships.
It's like developing a deeper relationship with your space.
And with yourself.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, that's what Vastu Shastra is all about. It's about creating a home that's not just a building, but a sanctuary, a place where you can truly thrive.
I love that. This whole deep dive has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm seeing my home and myself in a whole new way.
I know what you mean. It's like this whole new world has opened up.
I'm really excited to start putting all this into practice.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you know, it doesn't have to be overwhelming. You can start with just one small thing, like decluttering a corner, adding a plant to your desk, or opening your windows more often. Every little bit helps.
It's about taking those baby steps.
Exactly. And remember, Vastu is a journey, not a destination. It's about continually learning and exploring, finding what works for you, and creating a space that you absolutely love.
Thank you so much for taking us on this journey with you. It's been such a pleasure learning from you.
The pleasure was all mine. It's been so much fun sharing my passion for Vastu with you and all our listeners.
Remember, everyone, you have the power to create a harmonious and thriving home for yourself. Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep creating a life you love.
And keep those good vibes flowing.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you